We'll go ahead and call the committee on revenue to order. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Assembly members Considine, De Silva, Flanagan, Gallant, Goulding, Gray, Hafen, Wynn, O'Neill, Roth, Chair Backus.
And I am present. We have all members present today. And so with that on today's agenda, we have a work session for 6 assembly bills. We will go ahead and start with Assembly Bill 276, and I will turn it over to Ms. Powers to walk us through the work session documents.
Thank you, Chair Backus. Susanna Powers, Deputy Fiscal Analyst with the Fiscal Analysis Division. The work session documents are available to the public on NALIS. Assembly Bill 276 was sponsored by Assembly members O'Neill and Dickman. This bill was heard on March 18, 2025 by this committee. Assembly Bill 276 replaces the fixed $4 million exemption threshold for the commerce tax with an amount annually adjusted by the average 12-month percentage increase in the consumer price index over the previous 3 calendar years. A conceptual amendment submitted by Assembly Member O'Neill makes the following changes. In Section 4, add language requiring the Department of Taxation to round each annual calculation required pursuant to this section to the nearest 100,000. In Section 4, subsection 2, clarify that the initial calculation for fiscal year 2026 be calculated and published on the department's website within 30 days of the effective date of the bill. But for fiscal year 2027 and all future fiscal years, the calculation should be calculated and published no later than March 1st as required in this subsection. Add a new section amending NRS 363C.620, which specifies when interest is allowed or disallowed on overpayments of commerce tax to the department, to specify that the payment of interest shall not be allowed by the department on overpayments of the tax caused by the taxpayer using the incorrect exemption threshold on the tax return. Assembly Bill 276 was denoted as being eligible for exemption by the Fiscal Analysis Division on March 10, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Powers. Do we have any questions regarding the work session documents? With that, I will entertain a motion to amend and do pass Assembly Bill 276 with the amendment submitted by Assemblymember O'Neill as outlined in the work session documents. I have a first from Assemblymember Gray, and I have a second from Assemblymember O'Neill. Is there any discussion on the motion? I will go to Assemblymember Considine.
Thank you, Chair. Over the interim, we discussed how revenue is not keeping up with inflation. The Commission on School Funding is facing challenges with revenue. With the economic challenges we are facing and the current state of uncertainty in our economy and the upcoming economic forum expectations, I will be voting no on bills abating or negating revenue, which includes this bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair. Are there any other comments regarding this motion? With that, those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Nay. And I have as noes, I have Assembly members Goulding, Roth, Flanagan. Did I have another hand? I think. Oh, and Vice Chair Considine.
Writing it all down.
Thank you. With that, I would go ahead and assign the floor statement to Assemblymember O'Neill.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. With that, we can go ahead and move to the next bill on our work session documents, which is Assembly Bill 453, and I'll turn it back to Ms. Powers.
Thank you, Chair Backus. Susanna Powers for the record. Assembly Bill 453 was sponsored by Assembly Member Anderson. The bill was heard on April 10, 2025 by this committee. Assembly Bill 453 provides for the imposition of a tax on the retail sale of use of specified digital products, which includes digital audio works, digital audio-visual works, digital books, digital code, and other digital products at a rate equal to the sales and use tax rate in the county where the specified digital product is purchased or used. The proceeds from the taxes are to be distributed in the same proportion and manner as the sales and use tax. In addition, the bill lowers the gross revenue threshold at which businesses become subject to the commerce tax from $4 million to $3.5 million and removes the exemption from the tax on live entertainment conducted by certain professional sports events hosted by a Nevada-based team in which that team is a participant. A conceptual amendment was submitted by Assemblymember Anderson that does the following. Adds Assemblymember Considine and Senator Neal as primary sponsors, removes the proposed change to the commerce tax exemption threshold in sections 128 through 155, restores the exemption for Nevada-based professional sports teams in section 156, adds a new section that states if the Economic Forum projects a decrease of more than 7%, transferable tax credits shall be reviewed by the legislature for possible changes to authorization of transferable tax credits, include any necessary changes of the amount of transferable tax credits being issued in the biennium. If funds are used from the rainy day account, any transferable tax credit shall not be used for the next 2 fiscal years, and any transferable tax credits that can't be issued shall not be issued for 2 fiscal years. This requirement would only apply to tax credit programs established on or after the effective date of the bill. Assembly Bill 453 was denoted as being eligible for exemption by the Fiscal Analysis Division on March 27, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Powers. And before we make our next motion on Assembly Bill 453, I do want to make a statement because I forgot we concluded our evening less than 24 hours ago, but I did want to let the committee know that we have received permission from the speaker who has waived Rule 57, subsection 4, to allow us to work session bills within the 24-hour period. So I wanted to make sure that was clear for today's meeting for us to meet right now instead of waiting till tonight at 6 p.m. to move these bills. So with that, committee, do we have any questions regarding the work session documents pertaining to Assembly Bill 453? With that, I would entertain a motion to amend and do pass. I have a first from Assemblymember Flanagan, and I have a second from Vice Chair Considine. Is there any discussion on the motion? With that, those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. I believe the noes are Assembly Members O'Neill, Gallant, Gray, and Hafen. The motion carries. I would assign the floor statement to Assemblymember Anderson. With that, we'll go ahead and move on to our next item on our work session, which is Assembly Bill 457, and I'll turn it back to Ms. Powers.
Thank you, Chair Backus. Susanna Powers for the record. Assembly Bill 457 was sponsored by Assemblymember Considine. This bill was heard on April 8, 2025 by this committee. Assembly Bill 457 requires certain business entities primarily engaged in rental, real property, and under common ownership to be treated as a single combined taxpayer group for commerce tax purposes. The applicability of the commerce tax for a combined taxpayer group and the amount owed is determined based on the combined Nevada gross revenue of each business entity treated as a member of the combined taxpayer group. A conceptual amendment submitted by Assemblymember Considine requests that the Revenue Joint Interim Committee hold meetings on the issues this bill covers and discuss a formal study in the future to determine the potential revenue of combined taxpayer groups for controlling interest in real property. Assembly Bill 457 was denoted as being eligible for exemption by the Fiscal Analysis Division on March 27, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Powers. Does anyone have any questions regarding the work session documents pertaining to AB 453? With that, I will entertain a motion to amend and do pass Assembly Bill 453 with the amendment submitted by Assemblymember and the Considine. I'm on the wrong bill. Thank you. I apologize. I will enter any questions regarding the work session documents pertaining to Assembly Bill 457. I will entertain a motion to amend and do pass Assembly Bill 457 with the amendment requested by Assemblymember Considine as outlined in the work session documents.
So moved.
I have a first from Vice Chair Considine. Do I have a second? I have a second from Assemblymember Flanagan. Is there any discussion on the motion? I will go to Assemblymember Haven.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to thank the bill sponsor for the amendment. I do want to see the amendment. I'm going to be a no out of committee right now, but I do want to review the amendment, so I want to reserve my rights on this one. Thank you.
I'll go to Assemblymember Gallant.
Thank you, Chair. So I'm going to be yes with reservation. I like the concept and the idea of where it's going, but I just need to dig into it a little bit more and make sure it does exactly what I think it does.
Fantastic. With that, I will go ahead. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. And on my noes, I have Assembly Members O'Neill, Gray, and Hafen. With that, we'll go ahead and move to our next, the floor statement would go to Vice Chair Considine.
Chair.
Thank you. With that, we'll go to our next item on our work session documents, which is Assembly Bill 535. And I'll turn it back to Ms. Powers.
Thank you, Chair Backus. Susanna Powers for the record. Assembly Bill 535 was sponsored by Assembly Committee on Revenue. This bill was heard on April 3rd, 2025 by this committee. Assembly Bill 535 amends the provisions governing the sales and use tax exemption for religious, charitable, or educational organizations to specify that organizations may satisfy the requirement to claim the exemption by establishing that they operate exclusively for a purpose exempt under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code and are recognized as exempt by the Internal Revenue Service under the provisions of that section. An amendment submitted by Assemblymember Backus would add the following provisions to Chapters 372 and 374 of the Nevada Revised Statutes. Specify how the Department of Taxation determines whether the organization satisfies the requirements for charitable purposes. Specify what the Department of Taxation is required to do when it determines the organization is not created for religious, charitable, or educational purposes, or otherwise does not meet the requirements to receive the exemption. Require the Department of Taxation to submit certain reports to the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Revenue. Assembly Bill 535 was denoted as being eligible for exemption by the Fiscal Analysis Division on April 7, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Powers. Do we have any questions on the work session documents for Assembly Bill 535? I will entertain a motion to amend and do pass. Oh, I do have a question, or I have a comment for staff. Go ahead, Mr. Nakamoto.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Michael Nakamoto with Fiscal Analysis Division. One of the things that you may have noted when Ms. Powers read out the work session document is the references to both Chapter 372 and 374 of the NRS. The amendment that was submitted for this bill only made references to Chapter 372, but as a technical note, the amendments to the Chapter 372 would also need to be made to Chapter 374, which governs the local school support tax. So I believe the motion that would be made would include the amendments to both sections, not just Chapter 372. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With that, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Nakamoto, like regarding that? Are we all good? Okay. With that, I would go ahead and entertain a motion to amend and do pass Assembly Bill 535 with the amendment submitted by Assemblymember Backus, along with the technical clarification noted in the work session documents.
Second.
I have a first from Assemblymember Gray. I have a second from Vice Chair Considine. All those in favor say aye. Oh, excuse me. Is there any discussion on the motion? Sorry to startle you guys. No? Okay. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. The motion unanimously carries. I will assign the floor statement to, I'll do it myself. I was going to give it away. With that, we'll go to Assembly Bill 539. In our work session documents, I'll turn it back to Ms. Powers.
Thank you, Chair Backus. Susanna Powers for the record. Assembly Bill 539 was sponsored by Assembly Committee on Revenue on behalf of the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Revenue. This bill was heard on April 8, 2025 by this committee. Assembly Bill 539 requires the Governor's Office of Workforce Innovation to establish a career coaching program in middle and junior high schools depending on available funding. The program guides students in exploring careers and building readiness skills. The office must collaborate with agencies, school districts, and industry partners, and may seek external funding and contract experts to support the program. A conceptual amendment submitted by Assemblymember Nguyen adds financial literacy to the career coaching program in middle and junior high schools and adds nonprofits to the list of appropriate persons or entities with whom the office shall collaborate as part of the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Powers. Do we have any questions on the work session documents for Assembly Bill 539? With that, I would entertain a motion to amend and do pass Assembly Bill 539 with amendments submitted by Assemblymember Nguyen as outlined in the work session documents. I have a first from Assemblymember Gray. I have a second from Assemblymember Nguyen. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The motion unanimously carries, and I will assign the floor statement to Assemblymember Flanagan. Next in our work session documents, actually before, is going to be Assembly Bill 307. But I want to make a statement on that, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn this matter over to Vice Chair Considine. I would like to advise the committee that as an attorney, one of my clients is directly impacted by this bill. Since the independence of my judgment of a reasonable person in my position with respect to this bill could be materially affected by legal employment, I am making the disclosure pursuant to Assembly Standing Rule 23. And with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Vice Chair Considine.
Thank you, Ms. Powers. Will you read the bill? Please.
Thank you, Vice Chair Susanna Powers for the record. This work session document is posted in Nellis. Assembly Bill 307 was sponsored by Assembly members Gallant, Cole, and Gonzalez. This bill was heard on March 27, 2025 by this committee. Assembly Bill 307 makes various changes relating to the taxation of cannabis, including eliminating the 15% wholesale tax and increasing the excise tax on retail sales from 10% to 14.25%. The bill additionally removes the $5 million annual reimbursement to local governments for certain costs. A proposed amendment to Assembly Bill 307 submitted by Assemblymember Gallant adds the $5 million reimbursement to local governments for certain costs. Assembly Bill 307 was denoted as being eligible for exemption by the Fiscal Analysis Division on March 6, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, and before we move to questions, we are taking a short recess. Okay, we're back from our recess. And again, Ms. Powers just read the bill. Members, are there any questions? Assemblymember Gray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I didn't quite hear what you said about the reimbursement to local government.
Susanna Powers, for the record. So there was an amendment proposed by Assemblymember Gallant, and the amendment adds the $5 million reimbursement to local governments for certain costs.
So that is still, that's going to be added to the bill then, the reimbursement.
Susanna Powers, for the record, correct.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we are asking for a motion to move the bill without recommendation. Would anybody like to make the motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second? Second. I have a first from Assemblymember Gallant, a second from Assemblymember Gray. All those in favor of moving without recommendation, say aye. Aye. All those against, say nay.
Nay.
If you could raise your hands for the nay. Okay, the motion passes. Thank you. And I will turn this back over to the chair.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair. The no on that, just so the record was clear, because we just raised hands, was Assemblymember Nguyen. With that, we have now concluded our work session for this morning, so I will go ahead and open it up to public comment. Is there anyone here in Carson City wishing to give public comment this morning? Okay, with that, AVH, I see some people in Las Vegas. I don't know if they have an interest in making public comment this morning, but I don't see them getting up. So we'll go to the phone lines. AVH, is there anyone on the phone lines wishing to give public comment this morning?
Chair, the public lines are open and working, but we have no callers to give public comment.
Thank you so much with that. With that, I can go ahead and conclude our hearing this morning.